thing that we have been told for decades is that in order to be strategic, you have to leave some of your values at the door. You have to check your values at the door in order to be a strategic candidate. And that is just not true. I mean, this is where this is not being shown. It doesn't work. This is why people are saying that Democrats are spineless and, making those, those observations. So, it's just interesting that like what used to be seen as strategic is actually literally backfiring at the ballot box now.
That's boomer brain. That's boomer brain. And I say that respectfully to my lovely boomers. I had a book come out last year about next generation style leadership, and in particular thinking about like sort of generally boomers versus millennial Gen Z, sorry to Gen X, like everything else.
I hate it one day.
I know. Don't blame me, blame the boomers.
We live and breathe. We live and breathe. Gen Xers are alive, and I'm here to say
Well, we have the best music, so
We do.
just roll with that.
But like I say this to say that like this is actually the same thing we're seeing in business leadership. We're seeing it in parenting model styles. We're also seeing it in political leadership too, of this idea that you need to be authentic and lead. Part of the reason it's so challenging is because we don't have great models for how to do it. It's also so challenging because actually your job as a leader is not to be your full self or even your real self. It's to be your best self in service of your mission. And to be a politician in that moment, in that frame, is hard. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, and that doesn't mean you can't do it. In fact, we now, over the last couple of years, have seen some models, very different models for how it can be done. I think like you can be a boomer and do it. I think Bernie is a good example here. I also think like obviously Zoran Mamdani is a good example here. I think even Abigail Spanberger and Mikey Sherrill are good examples.
Oh yeah.
You do not have to be.
I had no idea when we were helping in New Jersey this last year that the New Jersey governor was going to be my new like avatar in life. I love her.
Like it doesn't even necessarily be full-blown progressive or like, again, that's not the right ideological spectrum to be operating off of. I mean, someone who believes what they believe and is willing to communicate that, knowing that voters, they don't even want someone who like totally agrees with them on every policy. They want someone they can trust. And trust is a byproduct of authentic communication.